Okay, so what we have here now is an anchor winch spindle, and the guy said that it was pretty nasty out, and his crew member slammed the dog into place when it was free spooling instead of applying the brake, which just shattered this fucking thing right off. This is 100% aluminum, which is pretty fucking wild to me. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bevel this shit, this end right here. I'm gonna bevel this down to a little bit, and then he said that this here doesn't really matter. It's the only part with a keeper on it, so he can put it no matter which way I put it onto the drum. He could fit it to whatever piece it's supposed to go to. So I'm gonna clean this up, get it nice and clean, nice and ready to weld. I'm gonna grind all this down a little bit just so it's flush, and then I'm gonna weld the shit out of it. I'm gonna flip this over. I had a hard time figuring out how to get the measurement of the shaft, so I decided to go with the outer perimeter and just use the tool there and go from the outer side and measure and see where the middle of the pin is exactly, because both of the outer diameters of the drum are the exact same, and this pin used to be one solid pin, so it would go straight through and it would be the same on both sides. So that's how I figured that out. I'm gonna flip it back over here. I'm gonna measure. It's gonna be a little difficult because of the teeth there, but I'm gonna measure from the outer perimeter with that tool there and get the shaft lined up good.
Yeah.
Those teeth even? Now that I got it all plumb up here, I'm gonna take the drum and put it on my jack stands, which are leveled off, and I'm gonna spin it and see if there's any wobble in it, and it looked good. So I'm gonna take it off and get to work. Now I'm not exactly sure because the Miller-Matic, the 212 that I'm using, doesn't have a digital display. It has dials on it, which is just numbered 1 through 10 for both the wire and the voltage. So I got it cranked up pretty damn high, almost maxed out the whole machine. I got the wire, I believe, at 9 and the voltage at 9.5. So it's cooking hot. And then I don't remember what it was on the gun. I had to crank it up for the wire speed on the gun too. I must be at about a 7, and that's pretty high. I don't usually run it that high on 035 diameter wire. I usually run it between 4 and 5 on that particular gun there. I got it all welded on the first pass on and cleaned up, so just making sure everything's good and true before we really get to work on this thing and just start putting the beans to her. So just making sure it spins good, everything looks good on the wheel and the drum, and it's gonna spin good, no problems later. Guy's gonna be happy with it. That's all I want. Alright, got the tacks on there, cleaning it up good now, because I'm gonna end up grabbing some gas, some MAP gas actually, because I ran out of oxygen. And where I live, you can't just go down to your local air gas or your local gas supplier, because there is none around. So I gotta use what I got, and what I got is MAP gas, and it's gonna work. It's gonna heat up that pin plenty enough. As long as I keep the heat based on it, it's gonna be fine. I don't really like that mask I'm wearing there. It doesn't fit under that hood very well. It doesn't fit under the Miller hood very well. It's a Miller brand, but I don't really care for it too much, and you can tell I stretched the shit out of them uh, things around my neck there, or my head there. They're pretty damn long now. It's kind of dangerous using a grinder around it. So anyway, we're just preheating the shit out of this now. Gonna make sure that the welds get in there nice and good, especially because I'm using the Miller 212. You know, it doesn't really have enough to get through that 1.5-inch diameter round stock there. It's pretty thick stuff, especially to try to weld on, with one small gun, one pass or whatever. So you just want to make sure you get a nice good preheat on it, and then you can pour the coals to it. I'm gonna do a 2x speed here just for the sake of time, because I don't want this video to be too long. The project itself didn't take a whole hell of a lot of time, a couple hours I think, so trying to shorten it down here for you, but I don't want to cut anything too important. I know a lot of people like seeing the welding done, especially spool gun and dirty material in the sea salt, salty sea, I mean. So, you just gotta deal with it, I guess. Okay, take it and spin it one more time just to make sure everything looks good. It looks good. Now we're gonna get to work here. Now I'm cleaning up the shaft here. I wasn't quite sure if it needed to be clean all the way down and touch the back of the drum, and he didn't answer his phone, so I just went ahead and cleaned it all up as good as I could, thinking that the shaft would be fine and get away. It was a little bit fat at the base, so I'm just trying to get it into size there. Now that it's cleaned up all the way up to from the shaft all the way to the base of the drum, I'm gonna put a nice thick weld around the base of the shaft. Probably end up being 2 passes around the base just to make sure it's on there and it's not gonna go anywhere. Ground cable. No, I didn't get anything after I finished up the project because the GoPro died. But I got it finished up basically after this, cleaned it up a little bit with a grinder and all that, and then the guy came and took it and put it all together on his boat, and his first trip out was pretty nasty and it held up good. Thanks for watching. Please sub.